So Wyndham, I want to mention two issues that I think Bill Richardson stands out on. One is in every debate that I've seen, Richardson mentions mental health. He mentions that it's an important issue facing our country, that it's not treated as an illness, and it needs to be. There needs to be greater emphasis on it, but larger national discussion about mental health, and I think this is a very important issue that is overlooked by most people, and it speaks to Richardson's sort of difference from the other candidates, that he's willing to bring that up in a debate, even though it's something that's not really on most people's agendas.
So are you talking about mental health on a more national scope? I mean, we could talk about mental health for veterans, for example. We could talk about how so many are afflicted with PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
But are we talking more about mental health just in general? And what are we talking about? Are we talking about improvements in mental health care facilities? Are we talking about more general awareness towards mental health problems?
I think it's a combination of all those things. I think you're absolutely that veterans need the treatment they deserve, but basically it's about respecting people with mental illness and giving them treatment that they need and help that they need, and elevating the discussion to something where it's not a stigma as much as it is currently, something that deserves to be discussed and addressed. Not necessarily sort of that we're going to go around fixing everyone, but just that people deserve some respect and deserve treatment if they need it.
Exactly.
So, anyway, I want to move on to another issue, which is something that I was actually quite disappointed with Richardson about in the past. I watched this. I watched something where Richardson was being asked a bunch of questions at the Google campus. I guess earlier, it was even early this year. Somebody asked him about the Farm Bill, and Richardson didn't really have a good answer. He had pretty much no answer, in fact. And that surprised me and bothered me at the time, because I think the Farm Bill has a lot of serious problems, and something really needs to be done with it.
Could you elaborate on them?
Well, sure. Basically our subsidies, go to this concentrated group of very wealthy farmers, and the subsidies are so huge that they depress the food prices around the world, and they discourage competition from other countries that are still in very agriculturally based economies, and so poor farmers around the world are hurt by it. The Doha round of trade talks is stalled because the U.S. and actually more the EU and Japan aren't willing to cut subsidies and tariffs on agriculture. So there's a lot of issues on this, and also it has negative effects on our nutrition habits. It really goes very deep, and that's a new issue that people are starting to pay attention to, and I was hoping Richardson would. But what encouraged me is that even after that bad response, more recently, I guess it was last month, he actually came out with a very, very detailed agricultural plan. He supported he was outspoken, and you can just go to his website. It's right in the front of his website, this agriculture plan. He supported an amendment, I don't remember the name, but the amendment that would cap subsidies to the farm, and that amendment on the Farm Bill. And I haven't seen that much support from the other candidates. So it just shows me that Richardson, when he engages with an issue, he comes to very reasoned stances, and I'm really appreciative of that.